Module 1, Section 8, Objective 12, and this is the application section instead of dividing, and I apologize. In this one, we're given the area of the rectangle, and we have to find the missing length. And here's what those look like. Okay, you have to read through part of it and look at the diagram to see another part of it. Sometimes they give you all of the information, sometimes you have to use both. Okay, the area of the rectangle below is 72 centimeters squared. Find the missing side. So we know one side is 18, and we don't know the other. Okay, so we know it's area because they tell us that right there. And we know it's a rectangle, so we're going to use the rectangle formula. Fill in everything that we know. We know area this time is 72. And we know one side is 18. But we don't know the other side, do we? So our job is to figure out what goes in the blank so that 18 times something gives me 72. So if you recall, when you're multiplying, these are the two small numbers, and this is the big number. So the big number divided by one small number will give you the other one. And it doesn't matter which small number you use. So this one divided by this will give me that. Doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to do divide here to give me there. So 72 divided by 18. Okay, and you can take a guess, but I'm going to actually tell you what it is on the first shot. 72 is 18 times 4. Okay, so when you do your long division, it goes in evenly. So 4 is what 18 has to multiply by to get 72. So our answer over here that we're missing is 4 centimeters. Okay, take a look at C over here. The area of the shape below is 24 square feet. Find the missing side length. Okay, so we know the bottom this time. Okay, when they say the shape below, yes, we can assume it's going to be a rectangle. Okay, they shouldn't assume, they should say that the area of the rectangle below, but we're okay with guessing that it's a rectangle. So let's start with our rectangle formula of area, right? Fill in everything that we know. We know the area is 24 square feet, so that's going to go here. And we know the length is 6. So what's the width? And like we did before, we're going to take the big one divided by one of the small ones to get us the other small one. So in this case, we're going to do 24 divided by 6, and that's 4, right? So our answer is 4 feet. Make sure you have your label. All right, B doesn't have a drawing, so we can draw it if you'd like, and I'm going to, just to show you. So if the area of a rectangular figure is 352 centimeters squared, and one side length is 16 centimeters, find the missing width. Okay, they say it's the width, so I'm going to assume it's the short side. It might not be, because in general, the long side is the length, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, so there's our diagram. Okay, we know it's area and we know it's a rectangle, so I drew a rectangle. Now the rectangle formula is right there. Area we know is 352, and we're assuming we know the length, so what's the width? So we know a big one and a small one, and we're looking for the other small one. So we're going to divide by one small one to get the other one. So 352 divided by 16. Okay, Okay, so 16 times 2 is 32, and that's what we need. So 2. Bring down the 2 and look at that. Okay, so we need 32 again. So another 2, and it goes in evenly. So 22 is the number that goes here, which means 22 centimeters is my answer. Okay, last one. So the area of the square is 64 square feet. Find the length of each side. Now remember, squares have all 4 sides are the same, right? So if we find 1, we found all 4. Okay, so there's 2 ways of looking at this one. First of all, a square is a rectangle, isn't it? But if I had area equals length times width, we know the area, but would have 2 blanks here. Okay, so maybe we won't want to do that one. If you remember in our formula box that we had earlier, we had the formula for the area of a rectangle, which was length times width, and area of a square was side squared. Okay, so let's take a look at it this way. If the area is 64, what number squared gives you 64? Does that sound familiar? What number squared is 64 means 2 numbers have to be the same. So that means these 2 numbers have to be the same to give you 64. Another way of writing that, 2 numbers that multiply to give you 64. So our side has to be 8, doesn't it? Okay, so 8 feet is your answer.